All right, thank you so much. Here the program still this morning on RTV. Yeah, we are still looking at the 2023 general elections. And of course, when we talk about elections in Nigeria, there are two main bodies that are responsible for preparing the electorates in so many ways. When you talk about the Independent National Electoral Commission, and of course, you talk about the National Rotation Agency, one agency that some persons, perhaps they have many questions to ask as it relates to the issue of orientating the public for civic responsibilities. Well, this morning we're so privileged to have Mr. Austin Odinle. He's the State Director of the National Orientation Agency, Edo and Delta States. Sir, a very big thank you for finding time to come despite a very busy schedule.
It's always a pleasure for me to be here.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Okay.
Then good morning, viewers.
Okay. All right, so
point of correction, I'm State Director, National Orientation Agency, Edo State.
Edo State, not Delta State.
Yes.
All right, now, so I thought, because we had one that was Edo and Delta State.
No. Okay. It has always been. Every state has its own directorate, including FCT.
All right. All right, so we have that now. So we are just again talking about elections in Nigeria, and perhaps you may want to say that this is one civic responsibility that cuts across almost all Nigerian citizens. This time we are looking at the ages between 18 and above, and if you like 100 or even 200 and all that, provided you are above 18 years old. But let's look at it, more critically. How would you want to describe the preparedness of, next year's prospective voters, for next year's election? I mean, because you've been with them, you've been meeting with them, you've been orientating them. So let's have an insight about what you feel about their preparedness so far.
Well, from my experience in the field so far, I want to say the enthusiasm, the consciousness, and the fever, is feverish. It's like the consciousness is catching like a whirlwind. The awareness of the people now, at least, far exceeds the previous elections. Let me say from this current political dispensation in 1999, where even it's like you confining the discussion today to those who are 18 years and above, and telling you that at least it's like I said, it is feverish. It's like a whirlwind. Everybody who is conscious, who is even not up to the voting age, everybody is aware of the current situations in the country as they unfold, and the preparation for the 2023 general elections. Okay. So I'll say, yes, I think it's a good one.
Okay, let's go back to the registration. Well, there's no doubt when you say it's like a whirlwind now, because in the history of Nigeria's politics, this registration for next year's election seems to be very, very overwhelming. Now, what would you want to describe from your own point of view? What has prompted that sudden kind of waking, nature of Nigerians towards that, towards registration?
Well, number one, if you want to look at the population of this country as projected, that we're over, some say 180, some say 190, 200 or 230 million. Whichever way it is, you look at the youth demographic. As of 2006, over 70% of the population belongs to the youth. And what do we say every day? That the youth is the leader of tomorrow. And that if that is so, over the years at least, we asked a question, are they actually being prepared to take over the leadership, the mantle of the leadership of this country? And so I think the youth have actually come to the realization, they have done an introspection to say, look, actually we need to take the bull by the horns. We need to bell the cat. We need to actually be in the forefront to actually realize this saying that if tomorrow belongs to us, we must do all it requires for us to actually take charge of affairs. Don't forget that in 2020 there was the ugly SAP riot. Even if I call it ugly, but then a lot of valuable lessons were learned. I think that is the galvanizing force of the youth. Like if you look at the continuous voters registration exercise that began last year,
Yeah.
you discover that at least the upsurge of the population, actually, there were feverish to register, were actually the youths. You understand? And for the first time, at least, without prompting, even if we were in the field, at least it was like a collective effort, like Oshobe. It became everybody's concern that this time around, at least, it's not going to be, as usual, as it used to be done. That this time around, we are going to turn the tables. At least we are going to make sure at least our voices are heard, and that we will not only register, we will register, collect our PVCs, and come next year, 2023, February 25th and March 11th to be precise, at least we present ourselves to vote, and we must ensure that our votes count.
Okay, all right, so now that we're preparing for our votes, to cast our vote for next year's election, but let's quickly look at some developments that maybe somehow some persons may want to say that it is not directly related to your own organization, that's the National Orientation Agency, but somehow, since you people are in the business of maybe reconscientizing people's minds towards civic responsibility and toward civic role and all that. Now, we have some developments. It happened some few days ago in Abeokuta, that's in Ogun, whereby some arsonists now, that's the way the reports are putting it now, had to go to INEC premises to destroy those premises, made away with voters' cards and all that. Then it also happened somewhere in Southeast a few months ago. Now, what do you think is going on? Is it that Nigerians are not getting the right orientation, or that somehow something is happening that we need to know about?
It has nothing to do with the fact that there is no orientation. There is orientation.
Okay.
The Nigerian populace, the entire citizenry is saturated with whatever information, voter information or voter information it is required to know. Having said that, I want to say that a negligible percentage of Nigerians, a negligible percentage of the populace have actually constituted themselves to a nuisance. The latest development, on warranted attacks on some local government INEC offices in some states of the Federation is as sad as it is worrisome.
Okay.
At least, I think it portends, to me, danger. But I am happy that at least the relevant security agencies are on top of the matter, actually handling the matter.
Okay.
And that is going by the fact that the IG just recently directed commissioners of police and their maybe DCPs in charge of ops to ensure adequate security, to fortify INEC facilities across the local government areas and across the Federation. Having said that, like I said, a negligible percentage of Nigerians, those who have negative mindset, those who have this belief that things can never work, to me, are the ones perpetrating this heinous act. And they are aided and abetted by some mischievous persons masquerading as either politicians or just Nigerian disgruntled elements. Because the first thing you want to ask is, what is or are the motives behind these attacks, these wanton destructions? From my own perspective, from my experience in the field and on the rest, at least gauging the mood of the people towards as the election draws near next year, you discover that INEC has made some highfalutin technological innovations that have made whatever plans those who have to rig near impossible. So, and don't forget that politicians, those who want to cheat, those who don't wish well for the country, they think ahead. They are always researching too, like criminals do. You understand? And then to ensure that at least they are one step ahead. So by doing that, at least I believe they must have, done some research, to know their areas of strengths and areas of weaknesses. And of course, we know in the past, when ballot box snatching and stuffing was a fad, and you know what happened? They don't attack the thugs and all the rest who perpetrate this evil. They don't destroy areas where they have strength. They make sure they go to their perceived opponents' areas where they are weak, and to ensure that at least the process is derailed. And how do they do that? By causing commotion at the polling units, at the designated polling units, and then either they destroy the materials or they set a fire or they steal to ensure that election does not hold. I think so. I believe that may be the reasons. And then the other could be, maybe, like you said, some permanent voters' cards were stolen. But I'm telling you that with this innovation by INEC, look, cloning of cards or stealing of cards or adulteration of cards will come to naught because the technology now is different from the card reader. It is top-notch. At least they have boosted it. It is BVAS, Biometric Voters Accreditation System. It performs, multi-functions. One, it will take your fingerprints. Where that does not work, for example, they will take your facials. Once your facials are not captured, the only reason, at least to deduce, is that that card does not belong to you. And so you will not be eligible to vote. In time past, at least, even if, like the card reader, if your fingerprints could not be captured or authenticated, what we'll do is they give you the incident forms. Now that incident form has been eliminated because politicians were ensured that even where the card readers in the past worked, they want to disrupt to say, look, it must not be used so that everybody will use incident forms.
Okay.
So I think these are some of the reasons why I think some persons are attacking. Because when you look at it, what would be the reason behind an individual, a sane individual, for example, going to attack a public facility that will know is saddled with the responsibility of organizing election that will even afford you the opportunity of electing a leader of your choice. It's only a witch or a wizard who does not want anything good, who will want to destroy such a facility.
Okay, we're going to be calling the head of voter education department with the Independent National Electoral Commission, Edo State, Mr. Timidi Wariowe. He would have come here, but because of his very tight schedule, so he is going to be joining us via the WhatsApp call so that he can answer some questions that we are going to be asking him here this morning. And also, the line is also going to be opened for members of the public, for viewers this morning to call and also say one or two things. The number is 07083651 320 07083651 320. So we're going to be having that number, on your screen shortly. All right, so let's try to see how we can get Mr. Timidi Wariowe now, so that he can join us on this show this morning. All right, so let us come to you as we are with Mr. Timidi Wariowe now. Okay, hello, sir. Hello. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
All right, good morning, sir. Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Okay, you are on to this morning on ITV on independent television.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Our viewers this morning, they may want to know who exactly we are speaking with.
Okay. My name is Timidi Wariowe.
Okay.
I work in INEC as head of department in charge of voter education and publicity here in Edo State.
Okay. All right. So, how would you want to describe the ongoing picking of voters' card, and of course some of the attendant, issues here and there as it relates to that now? So, how would you want to describe it?
Well, on the part of INEC, we are doing our best, to sensitize people to come and pick up their voters' cards, just as we used to do in every other activity. But so far, the total number of persons that have come to pick their cards is below average. It's a little below average. We are not too comfortable with the number as we speak. We have in our custody PVCs for those persons that registered far back 2011, before the 2011 general elections, before the 2018 general elections, before the 2019 general elections, and then the recently concluded continuous voter registration. So we have the whole line of PVCs. For the old ones, those persons that registered before the 2019 general elections, maybe from 2011 to 2019 general elections, we still have over 400,000 PVCs in our custody. Okay. Before the 2019 general elections. Then the recent one, those persons that registered last year and also did transfer last year from when the exercise started, I think around June to 14th of January this year. Those persons that registered, those persons that did transfer from one place to the other, we have their PVCs amounting to 44,036. Now, these are fresh registrations, fresh transfer, you know. So out of that 44,036 PVCs, we just have a little above about 22,000 PVCs have been collected. So we still have about 22 because 44, I'm talking about 44,000. And we started this PVC collection exercise even before the registration ended. I think we started around April, okay. You know, even at the point that we're doing the registration in, moving from one place to the other, we're still distributing the PVCs around April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November is ending today. So we've been, carrying out this exercise for the past 6 months or thereabout, okay. And just a little above 22,000 have been paid. So it's quite poor. I don't know what are the issues. Recently, when we displayed the voters register, that we are going to use in the 2023 general elections at the World Collation Centers about 2 weeks ago, we also used our opportunity to take the PVCs to those centers for people to collect, because it was quite close to the grassroots, to where the people reside. So during that 1 week exercise, I think so many persons came up, about 10,000 or thereabout came up to pick their PVC statewide. That was made the figure to climb to about 22,000 as I'm speaking. But right now, we have moved back to the INEC offices at the local government. That is where we are. That is where the PVC collection is ongoing for now.
Okay. Now, let me, the issue of collecting the INEC cards at the local government now, because that seems to already be generating issues. Now, we understand that during the registration, some persons had to go to designated areas that INEC told registrants to go to. Take, for example, somebody that registered at somewhere at Oluku here, and at the end of the day, the person is told to go to Okada, knowing that Okada is the administrative headquarters for INEC in Novia Northeast. Don't you think that is already generating issues and problems? And if you agree, what is INEC doing in order to kind of correct this problem?
Well, some of these decisions are taken from INEC headquarters in Abuja. If they tell us to move to the polling units, if they can afford it, we'll do that. If they say we should go to the wards for this PVC collection, we'll do that, okay? And some of these things, we should also be mindful of, we are also mindful of the attendant costing, involved in some of these exercises. Okay, so, but as we speak, some persons went to the local government area INEC offices to register, and then some persons now went to the, when we were doing this mobile registration, some persons went and then registered somewhere that is very close to the houses and all that. But I don't think people should take the pains, to go to the INEC offices at the local government, because PVC is important. You cannot vote without your PVC. So many persons want to vote in the 2023 general election. So we should do some level of sacrifice to move to the where we are now. That is at the INEC office at the local government to do the PVC collection. But again, we will also move back, to the wards. As we move closer, we are still expecting the PVCs for those that are registered about of January to the 31st of July when the exercise was suspended. In fact, the HOD ICT here INEC just told us that the ones for South, including Edo State, should be coming today. So that is very good news that we just got from him. We are aware that yesterday, some of the states in the middle belt that are close to Abuja, I'm sure Benue, Nasarawa, Kaduna, Plateau, some about 4 or 5 states received their PVCs yesterday. And this morning we're informed that the ones for South, they are coming today. So we are hoping to receive the full complement of the PVCs today. We've always said that by the end of November, the PVCs will come. Today is the last day of November. So if it comes today, we'll be very happy. Then we are going to work out modalities for the collection. So I am thinking there are plans for the commission to decentralize, to go down to the wards when we have full complements of the PVC. But it's a specific date I can't tell for now.
Okay. All right. So the one for South, now that you are saying that they are going to start coming in today. So would you want to advise or tell members of the public to start going to places where they register to start picking these cards? That's one question. Secondly, we understand that recently, some few days ago, a certain court had to rule that registration should continue. What is the position of INEC in that regard?
Well, the first one, let people wait until the cards arrive here in Benin, and then we will tell them how we are going to do the collection. Whether we are moving straight to the wards or we will still be distributing at the INEC offices at the local government for a period before we move down to the wards. Because moving down to the wards, of course, we will need extra manpower. It's not just the INEC staff. We don't have that need a number of staff that will go down to the wards to do the PVC collection. So we may recruit maybe some adult staff, for that exercise. So modalities have to be worked out if when we are going to the ward headquarters for PVC collection. So people have to wait. We'll make an announcement that of course the PVCs have come, and then give them guidelines on how we are going to go about the collection. So they will have to wait until they hear from INEC. Then the second issue of courts telling INEC to continue. Of course, that statement was reversed. I think it was, NAN, yes, News Agency of Nigeria that broke the news, also refuted or updated on their platform that it was not actually, that was not the intendment of the court.
Okay.
People the wrong information. So that matter died in natural death when they reversed their statement on the.
I think we're beginning to have some network issues there. Now, Mr. Timidi, if you're still with us now, just one more question before we let you go. We understand, we heard from a sister station somehow that for ad hoc staff that you are going to be working with next year in Edo State. Now, INEC Edo State needs a total of about 18,000 ad hoc staff. And we are told that only about 5,000 applications have been received. In other words, about 5,000 applicants, have applied. Now, how do you intend to make up the difference between 18,000 and 5,000, bearing in mind that the election is just 1 or 2 months away?
Yes, we need more than 18,000. We need more than 18,000 here in Edo State. We need more than 18,000. Okay, but as at 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, when we checked the portal or those persons that have applied, because we are not in charge of the website, so Abuja will now give us information of how many persons that have applied and all that. So when they gave us that information, maybe about 3 weeks ago, I think it was just about 5,000. I'm sure it has increased by now. But the process is still ongoing. The website is still on. It's still open, and I think it will end on the 14th of December. So it is at the end of the period, then we will now know whether we still have a shortfall or a shortfall. I don't think it will be peculiar to Edo State. The Commission will take a decision on the way forward. So for now, I can't authoritatively say what we are going to do if we have a shortfall, or whether we are getting a shortfall, or we'll get the complete adult staff that have applied. So let's wait until the 14th or 15th of December, when the portal will be shut, and then those persons have applied will be invested and sent to the states, and then it will come with a directive. So right now, we should be encouraging people, those that are eligible, to apply so that they can fill the gap and then participate in the election as adult staff.
Okay. All right, so I want to say a very big thank you for finding time to join us on the show today, despite your very tight schedule. Thank you so much. All right, now, so we've been speaking with Timidi Warrior-Way, the head of voter education at those states, bearing his minds on some of the prevailing issues and prevailing questions as far as the election is concerned. INEC'S preparation for the election in Edo State. All right, so we still have Mr. Austin Odinley here from the National Orientation Agency. Now, we were looking at, the level of orientation for the electorate. Now, let's talk about the political parties, the politicians, because a while ago, we are trying to look at the possibility that it's possible that some ill-fated politicians may be responsible for some of the attacks that we are seeing in some of these INEC offices around, in some places. So what is the level of orientating the politicians, in this regard?
You see, it is often said that God created the world in how many days? And then the last creature he created was a human being. It was after he created a human being that at least neither God nor the man he created has rested. So the most difficult human being to, creation of God to manage is the individual. Having said that, it is actually true that in an electoral process, at least to make things work, there are critical stakeholders. You have the electoral umpire, you have the judiciary, you have the political class, and of course, you have the citizens. Now, like you heard the new CGN of Nigeria, Ariwola, his charge to say, look, politicians will allow judges or the judiciary to function. Election in Nigeria is unlike elections in other civilized climes. Kenya just had an election. We saw how seamless it went, even if there were some little hiccups. But then it was widely acclaimed. And at the end of the day, things went smoothly. Can we say that here? At least you say, let us forget the previous republics we've had. Let us concentrate on this. At least we've had almost 22 years or 23 years of unbroken, civilian rule. One would have expected things to get better. But you discover that the political class, because in any political contest, the most or the beneficiary is the political class. The politicians, sponsored by their respective political parties, because they are the ones who contest elections, they are the ones who win. Be that as it may, some person want to say, is it the over-monetization of political offices, or just the interest that is like the winner takes it all? You understand that you may be nothing today. At the time you contest any political position and you win, within a speed of a week, or let me say a month, you are made. So you understand. So maybe these are some of the issues people look at to see election as a do or die matter. You understand? So that's why some are clamoring, including my humble self, that at least I think the portraits of office should be watered down, and if possible, make some positions part-time, at least to a kind of reverse this negative belief we all have that once I get there, it will be better for me, to better for my family and my cronies. You understand? Pushing to the background, service to the nation, service to humanity, which political office, is aimed at.
Okay.
You understand?
All right, so for viewers out there, 070, the number is going to be displayed on your screen, if not there already. We'll have 070-836-51320, 070-836-51320. So you can call so that you also make your comments on some of the issues we are talking about here. Now, Mr. Austin Udinle, I remember when we were growing up in Benin. I've lived all my life in Benin here. During election periods like this, we had, we had town criers from your organization, the National Orientation Agency, trying to go through the nook and crannies of your society, making announcements, orientating, socializing, people on how to go. But these days, we hardly find that. Is it that technology has taken over with the way these things are done now? But for some people, this to say that we cannot be so technologically inclined that we don't do things the way it should pass the right message. So what is going on with the National Orientation Agency?
Well, like I've said severally on this platform, that as the foremost advocacy organ of government, our mandate is clear: to communicate government policies, programs, and activities to the people.
Yeah.
And that we are doing sufficiently. We have, our approach is multifaceted, is multidimensional. We use both conventional and non-conventional means. The non-conventional includes the traditional, like you have said, the town crier that have been rechristened, the town announcer. I want to let you know that as I speak, our officers in our local government area formations across the 18 local government areas of the state are in the field. They are interfacing, they are in the markets, they are in mosques, they are going to mosques, they are going to churches, they are visiting traditional rulers. I was to be here last week, at least when you called, I told you I was in Edo North. And I visited at least most local government areas in Edo North. I visited communities and all these persons, I have mentioned. I want to let you know that right there, it is the jurisdiction, the purview of the traditional rulers, for example, to direct town criers. You understand, which they do. We have our own, instruments at the local government level. We have community orientation that we have, apart from the community orientation and mobilization officers, we have volunteers, white brigade volunteers, and we have community volunteers too.
These volunteers, when and how do they do their job?
Look, like I said, it's only the National Orientation Agency, for example, that has a market mapping of all the communities in Edo State.
We're not talking about the market mapping.
I am coming. You're asking how they function.
Yeah, because we don't see them. We don't see people.
Look, it's not a question of you don't see them. If you like, let me mention specifically. I was at Tenwa in Akukwe, the local government area. I was at Ekperi. I was at Ageneboda Waterside, Fuga, and some other communities. The chiefs were in attendance at the palaces, and they said actually, town announcers went round. They've been going round. They've been going around at least to announce, one, the collection of the PVCs, that the PVCs are ready, and that the designated collection centers they should go to. Though I know there are challenges, at least we've listened to Timidi Warore from INEC. You understand? So it is not possible for you to capture all these town announcers because you may not be able to know them. But me, I'm telling you, they are still very active and they are working. Outside that, we are using other informal channels. So we are using theater for development. At least we put up drama skits and all the rest. Like they say, the media is not cheap. The media is expensive.
Now, for an election that is a grassroots election, because we are looking at an election next year.
I know. That is exactly what I'm telling you. Let me tell you that in Nigeria today, nobody, look, even if it's a child, like I said at the beginning, that even if you're limited to say, it's only those who are constitutionally empowered from age 18 who will participate in elections. Yeah. It has gone beyond that. Even those who are not up to 18, they are interested in their affairs, in what is happening. Some persons who are used to perpetrate electoral violence, for example, most of them are under 18. So they are critical stakeholders. So we may not limit it to that age. Everybody is a collective responsibility. Having said that, I want to let you know, there is no Nigerian, you understand, who can read and write, and not just who can read and write, who listens, at least, who speaks pidgin English within the community. And even the person is, has the what form of illiteracy, at least is aware that there is election, because it has been ingrained in us that there is an electoral cycle every 4 years.
Yeah. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, hello, good morning. Okay, we lost
Okay,
that.
so like I was saying, there is no Nigerian, for example. Look, you imagine, like I said, during the registration exercise, you can see the deluge of Nigerians, you understand, who were eager to register. As I'm speaking with you, non-governmental organizations, non-state actors are spearheading, are in the field, creating awareness on the people on the elections for 2023, at least, and on the need for them to vote, just like echoing our messages.
Yes,
to the
hello,
people.
hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Nice to have you on the program.
Okay, so just let me go to the point. Like what the man there is just saying. We are just, people are just pertaining for us. That's those people that went also vote for them. But they are things that with the electorates, they should also inform us or to enlighten us. One, you shouldn't just go to the office. When they were interviewed, that one of the lawyers that day, in life said on the area of, there's no law binding these people that if they are justice here, the AFCC, they don't give any reasonable power to do anything with them. They just go there and loot our money and go. The two things I want the Nigerians or to tell us with the Nigerians. One, the areas of, of this, go to the office, and if you are not doing well, to recall back. They never tell the public how to recall them back, either as a Senate, either as a rep, or as a government that did not do well.
Okay. What? All right, I think what actually picks from what he said is the politicians.
Yes, the politicians, those elected, those who hold political offices.
Yes, the kind of
how they misuse, the offices.
Yeah.
We've said that. And inability of the anti-corruption agencies, you understand, maybe to do their job. And there may be the apparent, ignorance of the people to know that they have a constitutional power, you understand, to recall such persons.
Yes.
Some persons know. Look, a number of attempts have been made, for example, to recall some persons from the National Assembly, even from the State House of Assembly. You understand?
Case, yeah.
The question you ask, at the end of the day, it's a process. After 19 days, if it pulls through, INEC, even at the point of verification of the petition, you understand, physical verification of those who signed the petition, at the time they go to their places, they don't show up.
Okay. All right, so I thought we were going to have another call. 07083651320 is still the number, so you push your call through, and so that you can make a comment.
This thing, at least
we have
takes,
another call on the line. Yes. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Yeah,
good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, my name is David. I want to ask this question. How do you intend to reconcile the issue of underage children that were registered? From their faces, you could see that they are babies, but they wrote 1991, 1992 on their PVCs.
Okay. All right, so that's your question.
Yeah, that's my question. How can you reconcile such anomalies?
Okay. All right. Now, Austin Odinle is not necessarily working.
No,
with
I think
INEC.
even if I can answer that,
yeah,
because
you
just recently, INEC announced, we went around making the announcement, there was the display of voters registers for that will be used for 2024 for claims and objections. Now, the claims was for you, if you registered, to go see that at least your details are correct.
Correct, yeah.
And then the objection is for you, just like he has said, that if, for example, you see my face there and you know me, and you know that I am underaged, or that I'm not even a Nigerian, or that there's something against me, it is incumbent on you at least to fill the necessary forms and then support with the relevant documents. And then, of course, the electoral power that has the constitutional responsibility to compile and then release, a flawless voters register will do the needful. And that was done. And the information was saturated, at least in the media, conventional and non-conventional, at least National Orientation Agency, at least were in the field with INEC officials in the respective local government areas. But let me tell you that the peculiarity of our person, say in Edo State, I want to limit myself here. It's like some of us have this negative mindset that nothing can ever work. What works elsewhere, for example, find it very difficult to work in Edo State here. Look, you have, piles of unclaimed PVCs and all the rest. A lot of persons are saying, some persons just believe that they must be induced for them to perform their constitutional responsibility, their civic duties. And I look at that and say, no, it should not be so. At least when there are accusations and counter accusations that it's certain, some parts of the country that they've almost collected their PVCs and all the rest, it has to do with wisdom. Like I always say, intelligence is not wisdom. And that is a basic fact. So you may have your PhDs and all the rest, and then show up party to an electoral process. Then somebody who is not as educated, educationally endowed like you, who shows interest, who knows, this is a way to attaining power, influence, fame, and he goes, and then he's elected. At least because what you need to contest election in this country, according to the constitution, is you must have
the basic requirements.
Maybe primary six or whatever, or first school living certificate, or you could even read and write. So you don't necessarily to parade, all the other BSc, PhDs, and all the rest. So that's why you see some of us say, those who not go to school, and then they rule us.
Okay.
Those who went to school, how concerned are they about the happenings around them?
All right, so we have another caller on the line this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Mr. John calling from my brother. The fact is that the National Orientation Agency should hide their face in shame because they are not doing anything. Growing up, I used to see their vehicle mounted with a public address system announcing what they want the people to know. But today, they are not even, if they are doing their job, they're supposed to patronize the media houses. I'm sure the media houses get information from them. They may even do the announcement on their behalf at a rebate or even free, knowing that the information is for the people. So part of the problem we have is that the National Orientation Agency is not doing anything. It's part of the corruption we are talking about. Are they saying that the office is not having a budget to perform their duty? So they should wake up. And if I agree that Nigerians are also very hard to talk to and they believe, but do your part by informing the people of what is happening. Many people don't even know that 2023 is an election year. Many people don't in the rural areas. Those who cannot access TV, cannot access radio, cannot access newspapers. How will they know that why would they know what is happening in the country? So National Legislature should wake up. Let's call a spade a spade. They should wake up and do their job. They are not doing their job for the now. They are not. That is the truth. I want to commend ITV for the programs we are having. It's unfortunate that the kind of society we are in, ITV is kind of setting a pace which Nigerians are not ready to accept. ITV has been trying to let the public know what is happening, the way it is, not painting, not supporting government, not supporting anybody. They present the fact the way it is. The fact is that National Orientation is not doing anything for now. We should wake up. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
I think I don't even if not.
Let me commend him first and foremost for letting us know that we are doing the needful here. Very big thank you for that commendation. Now, I needed to respond.
Yes, I didn't get his name, but I want to appreciate him for expressing his opinion. He had just expressed his opinion, and I want to say he's not in a position to speak for other persons. He can only speak for himself. To say nobody is aware. What is the statistics? On what basis is he making that allegations? So if he has said he is not aware, is a different thing. But to say Nigerians or citizens of Edo State are not aware, even in his community, I will ask him, even the smallest child in his community, where he comes from, who must have heard of National Orientation Agency, an activity performed in his community by the National Orientation Agency. Let me tell you, I want to tell you that there are some persons, look, let us educate us Nigerians.
Yeah,
let me tell you, you see, the issue, look, you have the leaders and you have followership. People say, look, people normally ascribe, the problem we have is that of leadership. Let me tell you, the greatest challenge we have in this country is followership. When most persons just imagine that government, I want to ask you, who is government? This same person who is talking, he has participated in elections. He has voted. He has casted his votes or votes for persons in the past. So is he not part of government? He's one of those who have enthroned those who are in power.
Yeah, we're talking about the perception.
His perception is personal. It cannot hold water. Because for him to say National Orientation Agency, look, outright condemnation, you know, sociologically is not right. It's like saying Noah does not exist at all. If Noah, how, at least I'm here, representing the Directorate in Edo State, you understand, as the institution. So why will he say, we have received commendations? There are callers who will call and say, oh, you are doing well. Yeah. But we know you have challenges. But what we hope is that more, funds should be made available to you. You understand? Okay. So all of that. So I will not agree with him that we are not doing anything. Okay. I'm not blowing my trumpet, but at least, like the lizard says, if it falls from the Haziroko tree and lands and then nobody claps for it, it will not just say, yes, I try. You understand? I know we have challenges, but within the available resources, like I tell you, right now, in the field, I'm not making it up. Right now, communities, maybe if I live here now, there's an outreach in Oluku I will go to. Our community orientation and mobilization officers are working. We are working in link with NGOs and all the rest, volunteers who are joining us and all the rest. And then, of course, INEC.
But do you think this is working? Does it make is it making the right public impact on the people?
Yes, it is. Look, let me there is no Nigerian who is, let me say, 5 years and above. You understand? Who will say, I don't know, like he's claiming, that nobody is aware that election will hold in 2023. Do you agree? I want to ask you.
Well, I doubt.
So that is a fallacy. For him to say nobody is, that nobody, if he says he is not aware, that is his own. It is because he has refused to either listen or to maybe to interact, and that he's a loner.
Now, okay, well, because of time factor, because our time is fast spent on the show, maybe we may have to invite Mr. Austin Ondile some other time so that he can react to some of the issues that are brewing up as it relates to national orientation, and of course as it relates to how prepared we are for next year's election. I really want to say a very big thank you to Mr. Austin Ondile. Thank you so much for finding time to come on the show, and for the callers that called into the program this morning, a very big thank you. Then for Mr. Timidi Warrior Way, despite your very tight schedule, you had to call to also make your comments on the show this morning. My name is Evan Sunuhuge, and of course this is how we end the program this morning. Till same time tomorrow, the program goes on tomorrow. Good morning and bye-bye.